Okay, I've heard griping, complaining, moaning, and groaning to the point that I'm sick of hearing it about where in the heck is Tow Mater. Okay, here's Tow Mater. He's alive and well. He's sitting here diligently waiting duty. Well, he ain't gonna get to tug nothing, but he's sure as heck getting to make a parts run, okay? We gotta go get a brake drum. O'Reilly was supposed to bring it to me, and they decided that they didn't have anybody to drive a truck to bring it to me, so I gotta go get it. But I done a little more research and found out that here lately, these auto parts stores, everybody's been trying to get one up on the other. And I found out that Advance Auto Parts actually has this drum about, let's see, $4.50 cheaper. So, and they don't deliver on Saturday unless you're real close. And I'm actually not to them. I'm actually a pretty good ways away, so we're not going to complain about it. We're going to go get it. But the thing is, it's cheaper, so I'm going to go buy it off of them. I really don't care. I'm not necessarily brand loyal. Well, today's a pretty day. I don't know, it's up to probably 60 degrees now. I don't know. Still wearing a jacket. In the sun, it's a little too warm, so we're going to eliminate this. Unzip it anyway. Well, we're going to cold start old Mater. That's what we're going to do. He ain't been started since Wednesday. That was the last time I had him out, I think. And this is now Saturday, so been a few days. But it's warm out, so he should start pretty easy. He also got to feast on some octane booster and some Lucas fuel injector, fuel system cleaner and stuff. I don't like their oil stabilizer. It's junk. But the cleaner actually, I have tested this theory, and it does pretty good. It'll dissolve a lot of gummy junk and get rid of it. So we run a little of that through it. I need to clean the carburetor, a little spray clean, but haven't got around to that. We'll do that one day. But anyway, we're gonna cold start this booger. I'm gonna, I don't know, 3 or 4 pumps, whatever I just did. Make sure we're out of gear, and we're gonna see if it fires. Nope, pump some more. We're gonna fire him up, and we're gonna talk real loud and cover up that radio. And he died again. That's normal after 3 days of setting. Well, anyway, there's Tow Mater all fired up for you all. Everybody's wondered where he's at. There's your cold start. It's a cold start and it's warm outside, but you know, everybody likes to give me a hard time about a cold start. You know, you can do a cold start on a car with 100 degrees outside. Cold start has nothing to do with the temperature outside. It has to do with the fact the engine's not running warmed up. But anyway, we have got it where probably where it'll idle. Not quite. Let's get it going again. Well, anyway, I gotta grab a few things, and I'm gonna make this video a cold start plus trip to the auto parts store video. So anyway, back with you in a minute. Alright, we're riding down the road. Old Mater, we're going into Jonesboro, Tennessee. We're gonna get us a brake drum. I think I done Hojan's at. But I got something to ask you all. There's some of you that are fairly close to me, within, say, you know, 50 to 100 miles, whatever. I'm looking for somebody. I'm looking for somebody who does windshields for a living. They put windshields in, work for the other man, etc., etc. I need a windshield swapped in my old blue Ford. I've got the window, got a good gasket, everything. All I need is it swapped in. I need to find somebody that'll do it for a 12-pack of beer, 20 bucks if I bring it to them on a Saturday night, something like that, that do it all for record, because all these glass places want over $100 to do it, to swap it, and they say, if we break it, it's, you know, it's no big, you know, big deal. It's your problem if we break it. So basically, I would rather give an old country boy $20 to try to put it in, that does it for a living, that can probably do it without breaking it, than to pay someplace $100 that's going to break it on purpose so they can sell me a new one and charge me, you know, the $150 plus the $20, etc., etc. So if anybody knows a windshield man, put me in contact with him. Because I guarantee you, it's a gasket windshield, real simple to do, really. And I'm sure a windshield man would do it for $20 off the record. But we got a mailman in the way. I need my hand. Gear shift. See ya. Anybody read that sign up there? Advance Auto Parts. Yep, sure did. Went and bought us some good stuff. Anyway, he happened to be one of my buddies working at O'Reilly. This ain't an O'Reilly building. Yep, sure ain't. Advance Auto Parts. Yep. Wonder why I'm here. maybe you should think about it. Okay, boys and girls, it's time to stuff this axle back in. And like I said, I'm going to do this in real time. I feel that it works better. What I've done is I done the a la redneck crowbar method to get this race out when I took it out. Man, I managed to just nick around this backing plate just a hair, nothing big. But what I done is I took my old race and I test fitted to see if it would just, well, you got to get it started straight, of course. This is a good fit, but let's get it out here to see if my race would go through the hole. Well, my race, granted my race is a little warped right there where I cut it, but see, my race fits good. It fits through the hole. What I done was I took sandpaper and ran around the inside of this and I cleaned it all up real good and fitted my race, made sure my race would actually slide through. And it does if you get it straight. See, it slides good, but it's not loose. It's a good fit. You know, really, this is not really that important, but the fact that you'll be able to get the seal through here without interference that's already on this axle shaft is of importance here. And see, if you get it out of whack, get it out of center, it does not go through. That's how it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be a real tight fit. Well, what I actually did is I took that sandpaper, and granted, I can see right here there's a little bit of sand off the paper in my bearing race, which is not a good thing, mind you. It's a bad thing. You do not want that there. So what you want to do, you don't want to just spray it down and shove it through there. What you actually want to do is you want to take a little brake clean, a little yay, spray it on a rag or whatever, and you want to just clean it. Wipe around it and clean. You don't want to spray and wash because you want to make sure you get all that out of there. There wasn't much in there. I actually had a rag stuffed in it when I did, but I had a few flakes of sand. Nothing big. I want to clean that out. And then I want to take my handy dandy can. Yeah, I've had this one for a long time. This is a handy little booger to have. And it when you get done with it, loosen my end up. When you get done with it, see there it goes. I actually cleared it earlier. You've got to clear the end of it, and once you can take the end off and clean out the dried out of the end, and this can will perpetually work until the end of time. So it's not like a tube. And it's compressed, it presses out, etc., etc. It works good. What I'm actually going to do, they make a gasket for these. They make a gasket that goes here, and they make a gasket that goes there. I've never seen one installed that had a gasket, but they make one, they sell one. So what we're going to do is we're going to put a bit around the outside and a bit here. Just a small amount, nothing crazy. We're going to put a little on our finger, as you can see there. And this backing plate, mind you, you can about take it off. You got to be real careful, but you can about take it off, see? And hanging on the brake line. And we're just going to put a little skim on there, just because, like I said, they sell a gasket. I don't really see the point in it, but we're going to put it on there anyway. Better safe than sorry. I always do when I put these things back in. Like I said, whoa, listen to that wind, boys. But anyway, I did not put anything on this when I put it back together the last time, but mind you, the last time was supposed to be, oops, got a little on my threads there, won't hurt nothing, a little thread lock, yeah. But last time I put this together, it was supposed to be just for a week or two. Well, it turned out to be done in late November of 2010. And as y'all know, this is March of 2012. I just kept feeding it grease. I mean, I knew there was a problem. I just never addressed it, which we're all guilty of. We're all guilty of doing that. But like I said, this is probably all in vain. I don't really see the blasted point in doing it, but like I said, they sell a gasket for both sides to go around this, so under this plate and between the backing plate. You know, the way I see it is, it can't hurt a blasted thing. I just got a little in my bearing race there. I'll have to wipe that off. But granted, it can't really stick to grease. It's not going to, so, you know, that's another thing. All stuff has to be clean or you're doing this all in vain. We're just going to put a little coating on there just for, like I said, for giggles and humor. It really doesn't serve any blasted purpose there. But we are going to put it on the seal. The seal actually presses in. Let me get my race. The seal actually goes over the race right here, around this lip. That lip we do want a small amount of silicone on. We do want that. That's a good thing. So what we are going to do is we're going to pull this axle up here to where you can hopefully see it. Boy, let me change my camera angle. There we go. You can see my axle. See my seal right here. Hope you can see my little thingy flip back. But anyway, we're going to put us a little on there, and we're going to slide it around that seal because we want to make sure it's sealed, as we do not want to leak. And like I said, this housing has been through torture. It had the axle shaft actually snapped off from an impact, so we need a little extra glue here. The axle housing, believe it or not, after taking an impact strong enough to actually bust the axles clear off, busted it off right there. It took an impact that hard, that axle is still completely, absolutely, 100%, the housing is completely straight. It damaged nothing. The bearing that was actually on the other axle was still serviceable and still good. Don't ask me exactly how. But these axles under these old Fords, they are tough. Tougher than wet leather, tougher than nails. They are some tough stuff. Well, anyway, let's get you back up where you can see. We're gonna stuff this bad boy in there. I've got one bolt that's run away. These things are supposed to be slightly captive. This one was, until I accidentally pecked it and knocked it out. That one actually, I had to straighten that axle flange. It did bend it when in the accident. It actually bent the backing plate and everything, destroyed it all. I had to straighten that. So, and when I did straighten it, I actually had to knock the bolts out. Well, this bolt here has never wanted to stay in since that day. Don't really matter. It's got a, let me just knock it out and show you what these bolts look like. See, these bolts are T-shaped basically. It locks against the axle housing as it tightens, so it's no big deal that it fell out. I'm actually going to leave it out for now. We've got grease. Did I wipe down my race? I think I re-wiped my race. Not 100% sure, so we're going to do it again just to make sure, because I don't really want no silicone in my bearing. Alright, we've got the bearing greased. The only thing I have not done is put some grease actually in the race. Let me grab a little bit of grease here. My grease gun's out of shot, of course. Get me a little grease. Got a little grease on my finger there. I don't know if you can see or not. Surely you can. And we're just going to wipe it into this race. Like I said, I greased the snot out of the bearing and everything else. Don't be afeard of putting grease in your bearing by any means. Do not be afraid. Grease is your friend. The more grease, the better. Somebody's going to ask this question, so I'm going to go ahead and address it. They're like, okay, that axle takes gear oil. You're putting grease in there. So grease will dissolve right up into gear oil. Not a problem whatsoever. Gear oil is grease, just a different form. It won't change the viscosity or anything. Some grease will make gear oil look milky when it first gets in it. So like say, if I put this together, run it down the road and then check the oil, and you stick your finger down it to check it, or your little dipstick, it may look kind of milky looking. No harm, no foul. It will eventually quit and go away. Before we put this in, we're going to use a little more brake clean. We're going to wet our rag, and we are going to just wipe this axle shaft off, because who knows what kind of nasty we have got on this thing while it's been out. It may have dirt stuck to it. It may have anything stuck to it. You know, it's been laid down on the ground, etc., etc. These splines on the end that you cannot see right here, we are going to also wash those. Doesn't appear that there's anything in them, but I don't want to take a chance, so we're going to spray them out just to be on the safe side, so I know it'll spline up like it's supposed to, because it's going to take a little bit of force to put this in. Nothing major. You got to seat the seal, so takes a little effort. I'm chewing on some sunflower seeds in case you're wondering. You do not want to nick your race, so be careful as you slide it in. When you get close to the stump, it's gonna, or you know, into the housing, it's gonna stop for a second. So you got to pick it up and you got to fiddle with it. You've got to actually find the hole that you're trying to hit. Aha! There we go. We're started, and we're gonna spline. Push your backing plate on firm. Make sure that your retaining plate has the notch down, mine does, and we are going to slide it together. Well, when you start, it's not going all the way back. Remember what I said earlier about not liking the hammer on bearings? Well, sometimes you got it a little bit. You've got to seat your seal, and the best way to seat your seal is to indeed drive this booger in. Pretty sure we got it seated. Not 100% sure, but I think we're in good shape. We got a little silicone on it too, so we should be fine. It'll cinch up like it's supposed to. Your nuts, they have crown on them. See that crown? Well, let me block it so it can focus. Focus. See that crown? You got a flat side and a crown side. These are actually a lock nut. You want the crown to be facing outwards towards you. There is an access hole. Yeah, a little tight to turn. There's an access hole for each one that you can actually get through, and you can use a socket and put these on. I like to do it by hand because that way you know that you're not cross-threaded. But all you have to do is cinch these bolts back down. Watch your plate and make sure that it goes smoothly. Take it down smoothly, side to side. Go smoothly to push your seal the rest of the way in. And you're good to go. Your axle is now in, new seal, new bearing, etc., etc. So, ain't no point in you watching me put the bolts in. So, I'm gonna let you all go with that, but that tells you enough to do it. See y'all. One brand new brake drum. One thing about brand new brake drums I need to tell you. They come with a coating on them. To keep them from rusting, etc., and from where they make them and all that good crap. All that happy crap. Well, you've got to clean the inside area of the drum. You've got to spray it down and wipe it off. Get all this darn greasy crap off. Now, a lot of people will clean the entire drum. There's no sense in cleaning the entire drum. All you want to clean is the area that comes in contact with your shoes. And I'm just cleaning this top because it's got some goo on it, little specks of it, and I want it off there. Well, anyway, I turned my towel, notice, and I've wiped it down again. Well, I'm going to do the same thing yet again. I'm going to spray some on there. Well, we're at the end of a can, so it's creating a bit of an issue. There we go. We got enough in there to wipe it down, and we're going to wipe all that new coating off there. Because that new coating will glaze your brake shoes in a heartbeat. Same thing with the rotor. You've got to clean them with brake cleaner to get them clean. So anyway, that's that. Let's see. And of course you put it on. Just pretty well simple. Got a little brake clean still running out there, be alright. You don't get your gloves in between the brake shoe and the pad, or in between the brake shoes and the drum. We're gonna, I may have to back them brakes off. I don't particularly. Yep, I'm gonna have to back the brakes off. Well, to back the brakes off, you got a little star wheel down here that you have to turn with a brake spoon. Brake spoon being this thingy here. You can actually turn it to back the brakes off without the brake spoon. Let's see, I'm trying to see. Yeah, these go that way to run them down. You can actually do it in the front side with a screwdriver, but I'm going to do it with this because it's handy. I'm going to back the brakes off good. I'm going to have to adjust them anyway. Difference in the drums makes a big difference. Alright. Center our shoes back up. They're backed off. Should be backed off enough. Maybe not. Probably so. Yeah, they're still a little tight, I think. Yeah, that's decent. That's decent. get that seated. But anyway, adjusting brakes is you got to get a light drag on them, get them even from side to side. This one does have auto adjusters on it, so you back up in reverse, hit the brakes a couple times, stop, go backwards some more, hit the brakes again, and they'll adjust up to where they need to be. But you know, that's not really something to make a video on. You just get a light drag when you got the wheel on, and then they'll adjust yourself from there if they've got self adjusters. So anyway, this side is done. When I pulled this backing plate loose, I actually caused the brake line to start leaking. It was rusted real bad. It was real thin. I'm glad I found that. That could have been a dangerous item. I didn't wiggle it around enough to actually break a good brake line. A good brake line, you're not going to break like that. So I found a bad brake line, and I think that's the only brake line on the truck that I haven't replaced. Well, it's fixing to get replaced. See ya.